This is Heliox, where evidence meets empathy. Independent, moderated, timely, deep, gentle, clinical, global, and community conversations about things that matter. Breathe easy. We go deep and lightly surface the big ideas. This episode reviews The Die, a novel by Jude Berman. It recommends the novel and may contain spoilers.
Today we're diving into the Happy app. It's a fictional app.
Okay.
From this pretty thought-provoking novel called The Die by Jude Berman.
Interesting.
And it's like a near-future thriller, you know.
Oh, okay.
And it really digs into some like big themes
Yeah.
about technology and family,
Right.
and integrity, activism in this like digital age.
Sounds very timely.
Yeah.
With everything going
Yeah.
on. It's like ripped from the headlines almost.
Right. And so like for this deep dive,
Yeah.
we're gonna try to pull out like the key insights and its most intriguing details about this Happy app.
So we're basically dissecting this fictional app to
Yeah.
see what it tells us about our own world.
Exactly.
And maybe even ourselves.
Right.
Yeah, like that.
So like for starters, the Happy app, like the way it's described in the book,
Yeah.
it's like cutting edge tech. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was developed through this like crazy collaboration
Oh, wow.
between Russia, Florida,
Okay.
and then this group of rogue employees
Interesting mix.
Yeah, right.
I'm intrigued.
from this fictional tech company
Right.
called HS.
HS.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And they're based in
Wherever.
independent California.
Of course. Gotta be California.
Right. Like California's like broken away from the US in this world.
Classic sci-fi trope.
Totally.
But so like what's the point of this app?
Yeah, so that's the scary part, right?
Right.
It's actually designed to be like malicious.
Oh, wow. So not so happy after all.
Not so happy at all, right?
Yeah.
It's meant to like manipulate people's brains
Okay, how so?
into supporting this this authoritarian figure they called the dictator.
The dictator. Subtle.
Right. And he's basically trying to like reclaim control over California.
Okay, so classic power grab.
Totally.
But using technology.
Right. And so the way it works is it's kind of insidious. It combines subliminal messaging of the dictator's image.
Oh, wow. Subliminal messaging.
Right. With like smart light technology.
Yeah, chart lights. Okay.
And this technology is like specifically designed to stimulate this this part of the brain
Interesting.
that's associated with happiness.
So they're basically trying to like Pavlovian style
Yeah, like-
condition people to associate the dictator with feeling good.
With feeling happy.
Wow, that's pretty scary.
It's a pretty chilling concept, right?
It is.
Like it makes you think about, you know, how technology can really be used to influence us.
Right, and how much we're aware of that influence.
Right, exactly.
Like, are we just puppets to these tech overlords?
And the novel, I think, like really suggests
Yeah.
that it might be more possible than we think.
Than we want to admit, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where our group of protagonists comes in.
Okay, who are they?
So we've got Jed, Beers, June, Dara, Nick, Zach.
Okay, quite a crew.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then this teenager, they just called the kid.
The kid, mysterious.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's their deal?
Well, they're all connected to HS's in some way.
Right, the tech company.
It's a tech company, right?
Yeah.
And they're the ones who like uncover the truth
About the Happy app.
about the Happy app.
What happens then?
Well, they get fired, of course.
Makes sense.
Right. And then they're forced to go into like digital exile.
Digital exile. Interesting term.
Yeah, they basically have to like disappear off the grid.
Yeah.
And they end up at this remote farmhouse.
Hiding out.
Yeah, hiding out.
From the tech giants.
Yeah, and it's like their exile is really symbolic, I think,
Of
like the choices we all face in a way,
yeah,
you know.
I see that.
Like, do you conform to a system that you disagree with?
Right.
Or do you risk everything for your beliefs?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Right.
Especially in our world, like where technology is so intertwined with everything.
Totally.
So how do these characters how do they deal with this choice?
Well, they each grapple with it differently,
Okay.
especially Dara.
Yara.
Yeah, she's struggling with some past trauma.
Oh, wow.
And so she's really hesitant.
To get involved.
Yeah, to get involved, to like take action.
So her story is kind of about like overcoming personal obstacles
Totally.
to fight for something bigger than yourself.
Right. And I think it really resonates with anyone who's ever like felt hesitant to speak up or to get involved in a cause.
Right, because they're afraid of the emotional burden.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's really relatable, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, how do you find the strength when you're already carrying so much weight?
Right. And Dara's struggle is just like one of the many internal conflicts that are like brewing within this group.
Interesting.
You know, like Beers, for example.
Years. Okay.
He's all about like immediate action.
Like a hothead.
Yeah, kind of.
Abandoned.
He wants to expose the happy act right away.
Okay.
Jed, on the other hand,
All right.
he's much more cautious.
More strategic.
Yeah, he wants to gather more information before they do anything.
So you make a move.
Yeah, so there's this like tension
Between action and caution.
Exactly.
It's a classic dilemma.
Right. Like, do you act on instinct, or do you wait for more evidence?
Yeah, and the novel, I think, does a good job of like not giving easy answers. Like, it really makes you think about what you would do.
Exactly.
In that situation.
And then there's this twist, right?
Okay, what happens?
The happy app backfires.
What? How does that happen?
That's the crazy part, right?
Yeah.
Instead of creating these mindless followers of the dictator,
Right.
it actually sparks all these protests and activism.
Oh, wow. So it backfires spectacularly.
Yeah, like against the dictator.
Against the very person it was supposed to support.
Exactly. And it's not just him. It's like against other authoritarian regimes too.
Oh, wow. So it's like a global ripple effect.
Totally.
So how do they explain this in the book?
Well, that's part of the mystery, right?
Okay.
Even the characters, they're confused.
Well, it's not like they have a clear explanation.
No, they can't fully understand
Yeah.
like why this is happening.
So there's an element of like the unknown.
Right. Yeah.
It's not just a simple cause and effect.
Yeah, and it's especially interesting because there's this whole thing about this universal sound.
Universal sound, okay.
That's introduced by the kid.
The kid, yeah.
And it's like this subtle vibration.
Okay.
That seems to be playing a role
In this wave of activism.
Exactly. But no one really understands how.
So it's like a mysterious force?
Yeah, kinda.
That's driving these events?
Right. And it makes you wonder,
Right.
like, is there something more to it?
Yeah. Is it just a coincidence?
Right.
Or is there something deeper going on?
Exactly.
I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah, me too.
So we've got a corrupt regime, a group of rebels on the run, a manipulative app that backfires, and a mysterious sound that seems to be awakening something in people.
Sounds like a recipe for a great story.
Definitely.
So where do we go from here?
Well, that's where the real intrigue begins.
Yeah, okay.
We'll delve into the character's journey in exile and their attempts to fight back.
Okay.
And the surprising role that this universal sound plays.
All right, can't wait to hear more.
Stay tuned.
Absolutely.
A shout out to our many listeners in Gibsons, Sechelt, Melbourne, Helsinki, New Orleans, Vancouver, Singapore, Copenhagen, and Sydney. We see you. Thank you for subscribing, following, commenting, and supporting our podcast. Find related articles at Heliox Podcasts on Substack. Back to Heliox, where evidence meets empathy. Okay, so last time we left our protagonists in kind of a precarious position, right?
Yeah.
They've uncovered this dangerous conspiracy. They've been forced into digital exile.
Right.
And now they're kind of grappling with like how to fight back.
Right, against this powerful regime.
Exactly.
And remember, like, their haven is this remote farmhouse.
Right. Cut off.
Totally cut off from like the digital world.
So like they knew
that they knew. Yeah. It's a stark contrast.
Yeah, for sure.
And it really highlights, I think, their commitment to like resisting the dictator.
Resisting this control.
Yeah, even if it means like sacrificing their comfort and security.
Right, because they're giving up a lot.
Totally.
To to make the stand.
Yeah, and it makes you think about like our own reliance on technology.
Totally. Like, could you disconnect?
Right.
Even if it meant like protecting your freedom.
Right. Exactly.
It's a question we all have to face, I think.
In a way, yeah.
Like, what are we willing to give up for our values?
And it's a choice that resonates even more deeply, I think, in the context of Dara's story.
Right.
Because she's still dealing with...
She's already dealing with all this.
Yeah, the past trauma.
Emotional scars, yeah.
Yeah, and now she's facing this new threat, this looming sense of danger.
Exactly, and it makes you wonder, like, how do you find the strength to fight for something
when you're already
carrying so much?
Yeah, so much baggage.
Right, and I think Dara's struggle is like a powerful reminder that activism isn't just about like
the grand gestures,
Right, it's not just about
slogans.
Yeah, posting on social media.
Right, it's also about the quiet battles,
Internal struggles.
Yeah, the moments of doubt, the fear.
Yeah, that we have to overcome.
Right.
To actually stand up.
To stand up for what we believe in.
Yeah, I think that's really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And
she's not alone.
No, she's not alone.
In this.
Each of the characters brings like their own
strengths
and weaknesses.
Right, their own baggage.
Yeah, to the table.
So like Jed, for instance.
Yeah.
With his tech expertise.
He becomes like the mastermind.
Right.
Behind their digital disappearance.
Oh, wow.
He creates this like complex web of diversions.
To throw people off their trail.
Exactly. To shield them from surveillance.
It's like he's using his skills for good.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I think it underscores like the importance of digital literacy.
Totally. Especially now, right?
When technology can be used for anything.
Right. And he's a reminder that like understanding how technology works is crucial for protecting ourselves.
Right. And fighting back.
Yeah, against those who would use it against us.
To manipulate us.
Right. Exactly.
But it's not just about like technical skills.
Yeah.
It's also about the human element, right?
The connections.
Yeah, the bonds of friendship, the shared purpose.
Totally. And that's what like holds this group together.
Like glue.
Yeah, and think about like Beers, for example.
Oh, Beers, yeah.
He's the impulsive one.
Right. Always ready to jump in.
Yeah, even if it means like taking risks.
Breaking the rules.
Yeah, and his energy is contagious.
Right.
It's like a counterpoint to Jed's like more cautious approach.
A good balance.
Right, and it's that dynamic.
Yeah. That tension between
action and caution.
Exactly. That I think runs throughout the whole novel.
It's like a classic theme.
Totally.
Like, should we act boldly or should we be careful?
Right, and there's no easy answer.
No, and the novel really explores that.
Exactly.
With a lot of nuance.
And then there's the kid.
Right, the kid.
This enigmatic teenager.
He's a bit of a wild card.
Totally. He's like operating on a different wavelength.
Yeah, he's not interested in the technical stuff.
No.
Or the political machinations.
Right, he's focused on something deeper.
The heart of the matter.
Yeah, and he embodies like this intuitive wisdom, I think.
Like a different way of seeing the world.
Exactly, and he reminds us that like sometimes the most profound insights come from unexpected sources.
Right. Not necessarily the experts.
Right, and that we can learn a lot from
people who are different.
From people who approach life differently.
Yeah, who challenge our assumptions.
Totally.
So it's in this this isolated setting surrounded by nature and each other that they start to like strategize their next move.
They're cut off.
They're cut off, but they're not giving up.
No.
They're listening, they're observing.
Yeah, they're waiting for the right moment.
To strike back.
Exactly. And their opportunity. It arises in the form of this tiny nano microphone.
A microphone.
Yeah.
Okay.
That Jed cleverly planted.
Oh, wow.
On Kurt's rum bottle.
Smart thinking.
Right. Before they were fired.
Before they got kicked out.
Yeah. And it's this like...
So it's like a...
seemingly insignificant device.
Yeah.
But it becomes like a lifeline.
A lifeline.
To the enemy's inner circle.
Wow.
It gives them information about...
Dictator?
Dictator's plans, yeah.
So they're getting intel.
Yeah. They're basically spying.
From the inside?
Exactly. And it's like a window into like the heart of darkness, you know?
It's like there's...
It reveals like the motivations
up close.
of those in power.
Yeah, that's got to be like both fascinating and terrifying.
It's scary, yeah.
Yeah.
But this intelligence gathering, it's not without its challenges.
No, of course not.
What happens?
At one point, the mic malfunctions.
Oh, no.
Right.
So they're cut off?
They're in the dark.
They don't know what's going on.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that, like, even the best laid plans can go wrong.
Yeah, things happen. Right. So what do?
Well, it's interesting because Dara, she holds the key.
Dara again?
Yeah, to this mystery.
Okay.
Remember, like, that unsettling electro-techno mix?
Oh, yeah.
That she heard in Keith's helmet?
During the demo.
Yeah, during the Virtual demo.
Right.
It turns out
there's a connection
between that sound and the mic.
And the mic's sudden silence.
Wow. Okay.
But she keeps this to herself.
So she's not telling anyone.
No, which adds like
another layer
of complexity to the whole situation, right?
Yeah. So what's her motivation there?
Well, I think it speaks to like her protectiveness, you know.
Loyalty.
Yeah, her fierce loyalty to her chosen family.
Right, so she's trying to protect them.
Yeah, but she's also carrying this heavy burden.
This secret,
yeah.
That could affect everything. And it's a reminder that even in the midst of this shared cause, people have their own internal battle. Yeah, their own struggle. Right. And her silence. It speaks volumes, right? I feel like it's saying more than words. Exactly. And it highlights like the balance between trust and self-preservation. Right, and the difficult choices we have to make. Right, when we're trying to protect the people we love. Yeah, that's heavy stuff. Yeah, but Dara's not one to just like sit idly by. Right, she's a fighter. She takes matters into her own hands. What does she do? She orchestrates this risky plan to retrieve the malfunctioning mic. Wow. From the enemy's lair. So she's going right into the lion's den. Basically. Yeah. That's pretty brave. And this is where we see like Dara's like colors. Her resilience, her resourcefulness. She shuds this cloak of passivity and fear. Right, she's taking charge. She's stepping into action. I like that. And it's a pivotal moment in her journey. Yeah, in her character arc. Yeah. And it speaks to like the power of the transformative power of facing our fears. Right, and taking control. Yeah, exactly. Our own destinies. Right, and doing so, she not only like reclaims the vital link to the enemy's secrets. Right, she gets the mic back. Yeah. But she also demonstrates like the strength that can be found in vulnerability. Yeah. That's a powerful message. Totally, and it's a message that like resonates far beyond like the pages of the book. Yeah. It's about like embracing our imperfections. Right, and finding strength in that. Yeah, I like that. So the mic is back online. Okay. The protagonists are They're back in the game. Yeah. Okay. But they're also facing like what? This new wave of pressure from because the Happy app, despite like their efforts to expose it, it's gaining traction. Oh, people are downloading it. And they're falling for it. Yeah. Wow. So it's working. It's working, despite their best efforts. Even though they know the truth. Right, and it underscores, I think, the insidious nature of propaganda. Right, how it can be so seductive. Right, like the allure of simple solutions in a complex world. Exactly, and it raises these uncomfortable questions about like our own susceptibility to manipulation. Right, like how easily can we be swayed? Right, by these carefully crafted messages that play on our fears. Exactly, and it's not just the digital realm that they have to worry about. No, because the dictator's emboldened by his success with the app. Yeah. And he sets his sights on reclaiming California. Oh, wow. So he's going for the whole thing. Yeah, like his ambition knows no bounds. And he's willing to use force. Totally. Like his willingness to use force is chilling. Yeah, it's getting real. And this escalation of the conflict it really raises the stakes. Yeah, because now it's not just about exposing the truth. It's about like it's about survival.
the fate of California.
The fate of millions.
Exactly. And it's in this moment of crisis.
Yeah.
With like
the threats converging.
The digital and physical threats. Yeah. That we see the true mettle of our protagonists.
Right. They're really put to the test.
They're tested, yeah.
So how do they respond?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah. What role does this universal sound play? And,
right.
And can they overcome these forces of darkness
that are threatening to engulf their world?
It's a cliffhanger.
Totally. So we left off with the Happy app spreading like wildfire.
Right, despite their efforts.
Despite all their best efforts, yeah.
And the dictator's making his move.
Yeah, you could practically feel the walls closing in,
It's a real turning point for them.
Totally.
They have to decide what's important.
What to do.
Yeah, do they prioritize their own safety and just disappear? Or do they risk everything to try and stop him?
Stop the dictator.
Yeah, and this technology...
It's like fight or flight.
But on a much larger scale.
Yeah, but fleeing might mean abandoning California.
Right, to this terrible fate.
To mind control, yeah.
To tyranny, essentially.
Totally.
It's a huge burden on them.
It is, and it's especially tough because they're not
right.
seasoned revolutionaries or...
They're not soldiers or politicians.
They're just...
they're ordinary people.
Yeah. Just a group of friends.
Who got caught up
in this. Yeah.
In something way over their heads.
Right, exactly.
So the fact that they choose to fight back, I think that says a lot about them.
It does. It says a lot about their courage.
Their belief.
Yeah, and their belief that
they can make a difference.
That anyone can make a difference.
Exactly, even ordinary people.
So what do?
What's the plan?
They decide to double down on their efforts.
To hack the app.
To hack the Happy app, yeah.
Okay.
But this time...
It's not just about exposing it.
No, this time they want to, turn it into a weapon.
Against the dictator.
Against the dictator, yeah.
Wow, okay, that's ambitious.
It's incredibly risky.
And remember... the creators of the app.
Right, those shadowy figures.
Yeah, with ties to Russia.
They're about to release an update.
Right, so they have a very limited...
A very narrow window.
Yeah, to make this happen.
And their strategy is pretty ingenious.
Okay, what do they do?
Instead of, trying to disable the app...
Right.
Or replace the dictator's image, they decide to embed... the universal sound...
The universal sound.
Into the programming.
Wow, so they're using the app...
Yeah.
To spread the sound.
To spread the sound, right?
To millions of people.
Yeah, they're basically trying to hijack...
The technology.
The technology, right?
That's supposed to be controlling people.
And turn it into...
a tool for liberation.
For liberation, yeah.
It's almost like fighting fire with fire.
It's a fascinating idea.
It really is. And it makes you wonder, could this actually work?
Right.
Can you really embed a sound?
Yeah.
In a manipulative app
and have it
and actually change people's behavior,
awaken something in them.
And remember,
but nobody understands
how the sound works,
even the kid,
right? Even the kid who seems to
have a sense of it,
an intuitive grasp.
He can't explain it,
so it's a real leap of faith.
It is. It's a gamble
that this sound can tap into something. Yeah, something beyond
language.
Yeah,
beyond logic, and it speaks to
their hope.
Yeah, their enduring hope
that something can change.
That even in the face of overwhelming odds,
they still believe.
Yeah,
in something better.
In the possibility of something better.
And they're willing to risk it all
on this sound.
Yeah.
On this almost intangible force.
It's a powerful idea.
But as they're racing against time to implement this hack, they discover this tiny detail.
What is it?
A small red A.
A red A.
Embedded in the code.
In the app's code.
Yeah, and it suggests that
they've been compromised?
That their work might be compromised.
Yet someone knows what they're doing.
That the creators might be aware of them.
Wow, so the stakes just got even higher.
Even higher.
So now what?
They have to make a decision.
Do they keep going?
Do they proceed with the hack?
Knowing it could be a trap?
Or do they abandon it?
And just disappear?
And it's a true moment of truth.
And what do?
They decide to proceed.
Wow.
Knowing the risks.
They're brave.
They are. Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, probably both.
But they're driven by this belief that they have to do something.
That they can't just stand by.
Even if it means sacrificing themselves.
Sacrificing their own safety. Just as they're finishing.
Just as they're finishing the hack.
Yeah.
The dictator makes his moves.
How?
His forces launch an attack.
On California. It's all-out war.
It's chaos.
And our protagonists...
Scattered.
They're right in the middle of it.
Their identities compromised.
Their safe haven gone.
It's a stark reminder that this fight for freedom...
It's not just a game.
It has real-world consequences.
And the scene at the protest?
Oh, in Palo Alto?
Yeah, that's intense.
It's powerful.
Beers, June, the kid.
Right in the middle of it all.
Surrounded by violence.
But amidst the chaos, something extraordinary happens.
What happened?
As the happy app spreads, amplified by the dictators, like...
Propaganda
machine, People start to react.
How?
In a way no one anticipated.
They're not.
Succumbing to it.
No, they're resisting.
They're resisting the apps.
They're joining hands.
They're fighting back.
They're chanting slogans.
It's like...
Their voices rising above the din of the conflict.
The sound is having the opposite effect.
It's like the universal sound.
Embedded in the app.
Yeah.
Somehow...
Awakening something.
Awakening their consciousness.
And it's not just in Palo Alto.
It's spreading.
It's all across California.
It's like a wildfire.
Los Angeles, small towns, everywhere.
Wow.
It's like this collective awakening.
It's like the sound is tapping into something primal.
Yeah, this inherent desire for freedom.
That can't be suppressed.
That even the most sophisticated technology can't control.
It's like the human spirit is pushing back
against this manipulation.
Yes, it's control.
And ultimately, it's this groundswell of resistance
that brings the dictator down.
Yeah,
that brings him down.
Not through force,
but through the power of the people.
Through the power of unity.
The happy app is dismantled.
It's gone.
And California
begins to heal.
Yeah.
So it's a hopeful ending.
It is hopeful.
But it also leaves us with
questions.
Yeah, a lot of questions
about the sound.
About our role in all of this.
In shaping history.
About the balance between technology and freedom.
It's a lot to think about.
It really is.
So what can we take away from this deep dive?
I think it's a reminder that even in a world where technology seems to be taking over.
Where information is a weapon.
There's still hope.
There's still hope.
There's still power in human connection.
In our shared humanity.
And in the belief that we can create a better future.
Together.
Exactly.
So it's a call to action then.
It is.
To consider our own role.
In all of this.
In shaping the world.
To find those vibrations.
Those connections.
That inspire us to act.
To resist.
To create.
And maybe, just maybe, change the world.
Who knows? Thanks for listening. I hope that this review inspires you to read The Die, a novel by Jude Berman. If you are interested in more book reviews, please tell us. Changing the world one episode at a time.